G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. I'm David. Today I'm going to work on two different cedars. So this cedar here, also the both cedars belong to a client. This cedar here is a Cedar deodara, Himalayan cedar, and we get to see the differences in the foliage and the work that we can do on these cedars. This is a bit more sparse growing, a bit more leggy, but you can reduce, like you really can reduce if you work on it and keep it tight and compact. So we're going to restyle this tree. I'm not going to change the angle on the tree. I'm just going to have to wire a lot of the branches. Now this tree I've worked on in the past, but as you can see, once you get the wire off, everything springs back. So we're going to have to rewire this tree and get it looking something more interesting, more compact for that size of the trunk. So a nice twisted trunk up and so forth. Let's talk about some design aspects of this tree. I'm probably going to choose this as the front because you can actually see into the tree. The reason I don't want to choose the back is because all the foliage is pretty much, all the branches come at you at the back, so it's going to be problematic to wire and get reduced. So if I choose this angle, you got the movement of the tree, and then you got some heavy branches in here that come sideways. Then you got some branches up here that go sideways, and then you got an apex. So it looks, to me, it's a very confused tree. It's just outgrown its shape. It's just confused which direction it's going. So I want to try and alleviate that or fix that this time around. I feel, even though the trunk goes that way, but then this main branch here is probably the most significant branch we've got on the tree. I really like this to really give the tree direction. And by the tree coming back this way, it's got good direction. But then the apex goes back that way and then goes up like this and twist it up. So I'm hoping maybe we can get some guy wires down here, bring this apex down into a bit more of this area, have this drop a bit more, and actually have shorter branches on the side. That's potentially what I see. Probably a bit more gin work as well. Some of these branches are just they don't seem, they're very long and leggy, and I don't think I can use them as much as I'd like to. So maybe if I can work on this apex, bringing it in here, having this drop quite low down, at least then I got some direction on the tree. It'd be nice to just have small bits of foliage on this side, but maybe this small branch rather than all these branches on this side. There's a lot of depth in this tree, so probably not as much depth as I need. So really, first thing I'm going to do is try and figure out a design, and that's what I have in my head. So I'm going to drop these first, put wire on these couple of branches, drop them, and see how far I can get them in terms of down, and almost like a semi-cascade. First branch, and then have that apex come back down into here, hopefully. Bang bang, bit of foliage on this side, bit of deadwood on this side. I think it's a better tree if it explains the story of this side's got damaged and buffeted over the years, and that's the style and idea I've got in my head to try and achieve with this tree. So let's start wiring. This branch has now been fully wired. You see the nice shape it's created, bit of an rounded apex in here with a low branch. So that's how I've started the tree. I started the tree off in this direction. So you can probably see a bit more of an interesting tree now. At least this branch is dropping. That's a bit horizontal there, which is really annoying, but maybe we can disguise it later. So the other thing I've done is I've actually put some heavy wire up in the top half of the tree because I want to bend this down. Now, hopefully my goal is to use a guy wire into here somewhere and bring this tree down. So that's the plan, to try and do that. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of work there, but I'll put wire on here on the main view that I want to bend, because once I get the guy wire on, I won't be able to wire in between everything as easily. So having the wire on the main branches, then I can guy wire, so I don't have to go back and rewire, and it'll be really hard to get into that part of the tree. So got a lot of branches to deal with around here, but my main area is trying to reduce this apex gap up here, get it closer to in here, and create something less straight and a bit more this direction, in this towards the left, my left, and I guess your left as well. So that's the goal, and I want to as I said, get a bit of guy wire and see if I can bring that down. And then we can look at what branches we're going to keep and eliminate, etc. But let's do that now. I'm trying to get a bit of guy wire and bring it down. Now I've applied a guy wire from up here into here. Now I use copper to do my guy wires as it's much tougher and stronger to hold. And then I just use some pliers and try and bend the tree and twist. Now, if you have two people, this is a great opportunity to work with two people, much easier to do than one. But you can take your time and get it done slowly and slowly. Bring it down slowly each time. Always checking the branch is okay and it's not breaking or there's not cracking. So things like that, just check it. You can do a little bit at a time and see how far we can go. So also the angle I have come in at, so I've come from behind to bring that trunk back as well. So down and back, so it's a bit too forward. So that's the other bit. So put the guy wire a bit towards the back to do that. So I do it a little bit at a time. Now, if it gets too tight and too hard, I've got a clamp. I can use clamps. Just a nice clamp to bring that down, which I might have to do, might have to use, but we'll see how I go without it. So gradually bringing the tree back down and trying to get it to exactly where I want the branch to be. So, as I said, two people, much easier. But you can do it on your own if you just take your time and just work slowly. Now, the beauty is cedars are very flexible branches. That's the good thing. But the bad thing is cedars have very flexible branches. The reason it's bad is just after they've been wired, sometimes they spring back to where they originally were. So we're getting there. So this was the apex, it was up here before, and now it's coming down into this gap. So it's looking actually pretty good. I think my idea is going to work pretty well. I'm just going to take my time, get it right exactly where I want it to be, and then hopefully we can start to style the tree a bit more and get it looking pretty good. I think it's going to sit perfectly, and then we'll work with other branches what we've got. So it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but what's happened is this apex is now sitting pretty much here with these branches that haven't been wired yet. So it's pretty much exactly where I want it. There's a lot of branches here I have wired. I'm not sure if I'm going to use. I might have to bring that down and maybe create another apex. This could actually even be a secondary branch and then use that as a new apex. So there's a few things I need to explore, but overall it's looking really good. So this branch I might actually bring in here, lower down and put it in there. Now the reason I want to do that is if you can still see this straight part here and this horizontal part. So I want to disguise it by actually, I'll put this branch under the gym and I'll put it in there and it kind of hides that. So it also creates more space for more branching. So there's things like that now we'll have to start to wire. So next phase of this tree is to actually probably put wire on this apex. That was the apex. Maybe I'll change it to this as the apex and bring it down and really create a nice apex. So this could be actually now a secondary branch that sits in here. So I'll bring it even further down. So things like that change all the time, which is good. So what was previously apex now could be a side branch that creates another pad in here. So let's see how I go wiring and positioning. You can probably start seeing the tree coming together. I've actually put the apex in here, put some branches, wired them into this place. And this side of the tree is looking quite nice in terms of the styling. So pretty much, as you said, it's like almost a semi-cascade, but just a bit more slanting, I guess. I've hidden the ugly part, the straight part that was in here with this branch. Now I'm looking, you can see what's happening over here. Now I need to actually get some sort of foliage into this part. Now there's a couple of branches that I'm going to have to eliminate, of course, but there's this branch here that I need to bring around and kind of position inside this gap in here, to fill in this space in here to create a nice symmetrical shape. So the tree should be about here, filling around, going this way. So there's a few branches that I have to eliminate, and I wanted to actually show you why I'm eliminating. So this branch here is kind of too long and I can't bend it backwards and so on. So I'm going to eliminate that. Now it's probably going to sit in the way of this branch as well. So I'm going to have to totally take it out. I'll leave a little stub just so I can die back naturally, but yeah, it has to be out of the way. So this branch can come right in here and I can wire it in place. The other one, which is actually a real problem, is this very big one at the back. It's taken up too much space. It's very leggy. and there's not much point using it because I'm going to got these smaller branches which I'll drop down and put into that place. So using the smaller ones higher up, I can bring down and fill in the gaps at the back that I need. So I'm eliminating this big one, which I will gin. I need all of it, but I'll see how much of it I'll use. All right, so that's pretty much all the major chops gone. And hopefully you can start to see a better tree. So now all I've got left to do is wire those couple of branches in here, this one and that one, and then set the tree, and we'll have a look what the final product looks like. So this is the final result of the tree. I think it's a much better improved tree now. Great future in terms of we've eliminated a lot of the issues on this side, making it look young and uninteresting and long. Now it actually looks nice and compact top, compact apex, and nice flowing lower branch. The trunk still does that bend that way, not too bad. Hides the negative areas here. That's horizontal and vertical. Maybe the owner could tip it over a bit more, but I think that's okay where it is now. Hope the owner enjoys it. I did gin the that large lower branch, and now more space in this area helps the tree move that way, I think, too. So it looks really nice. I think just needs a bit of time to recover. A bit of the apex needs a bit more time to fill out, of course. You see the big gin in here. I'll let that dry out naturally before I do any work on it in terms of lime sulfuring and so on. But that's the tree. This is a Cedar deodara. Pretty nice, getting nice small buds. I did say I was going to do the Atlantic cedar, but I think this video is going to be long enough with just this tree. So I'll do the Atlantic cedar in the next video. So just stay tuned for the next video. But hope you guys appreciate that. That's actually quite nice now compared to what it was. The tree looks older, more interesting, more artistic, more a bonsai than an overgrown plant before. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and stay tuned for the Atlantic cedar next.